Pai Han-ul continues the beatdown of Kang Hae-hyo. He repeatedly keeps kicking him in the face, while Kang Hyo still wonders just what was his deal with this guy, and recalls that he surely must have beaten up this guy at some point. As the persistent beatdown continues, Kang Hyo tells Pai Han that he can only hold back for so long, and says that he might start responding if Pai Han keeps beating him up this way. This makes everyone wonder that maybe Kang Hyo wasn't as much of a coward as they had thought. However, this sudden response pisses off Pai Han even more, as he walks up to Kang Hyo and starts hitting him with relentless kicks to the head. Kang Hyo tries to cover himself, however the kicks are raining down on him at a rapid rate. As he gets beaten to a pulp, Kang Hyo wonders just what went down between him and Pai Han for Pai Han to act in this way. He understands that something truly horrifying must have gone down between those two for it to have turned out in this manner. As he tries to cover himself, Kang Hyo sees the area that they are in properly, and this triggers a memory inside of him, the memory of Pai Han once coming to this exact place with him in this exact place. Kang Hyo makes fun of Pai Han, saying that he must be really a huge coward for him to have brought so many people to beat up Kang Hyo. And Kang Hyo further adds that he will heat up everyone that stands in front of him, with no exceptions. Pai Han mocks Kang Hyo for having such ridiculous thoughts. Pai Han tells Kang Hyo that this is no manhwa, so him going on and taking out so many guys is impossible. However, Kang Hyo gears up and says that he will take everyone on for real. This surprises Pai Han, as he wonders if Kang Hyo is really brave enough to pull off a one versus all type of fight. However, just at that very moment, the fight begins and Kang Hyo makes a run for it. Pai Han understands just how brave he is by this, and everyone chases after Kang Hyo, asking him about what really happened to him. Why did he say that he will beat up everyone? And now that he has said it, how is he going to do it by running away? However, Kang Hyo tells Pai Han that he will be back and he will be the one that will take him out for good. Kang Hyo then runs into his friend Choi Suk-won, who says that he is sorry for being late, to which Kang Hyo tells him that he is indeed late. But the two put the argument aside and go after all the goons from Pai Han's side. They beat them all up with relative ease, as the smug look from Pai Han's face wears off. We then see that after everyone is done getting beat up, a beaten down Pai Han goes down to his knees to beg for mercy. Pai Han apologizes to both Kang Hyo and Suk-won, and also tells them that he will now acknowledge them as seniors. Kang Hyo is genuinely pissed off, and he wants to beat up Pai Han some more, but Suk-won stops him from doing so, and convinces him to go away. Choi Suk-won then tells Pai Han-ul that they're the same age, and even went to the same elementary school as kids, so he doesn't need to respect them as seniors. They can just be friends. We then get to know that Suk-won, Pai Han, and Kang Hyo become great friends and form a powerful trio of their own. However, this wasn't sitting well with Pai Han, as one day, Pai Han and Suk-won were waiting for Kang Hyo, wondering why he hadn't arrived yet even though he told them that he was coming an hour ago. Pai Han told Suk-won that they must comply with everything Kang Hyo does, because after all, they are just mere underlings to the much greater Kang Hae-hyo. Suk-won found this weird and said that the three of them are friends. What's the whole deal about being underlings and all? To which Pai Han said that everyone thinks of them as lackeys to Kang Hyo, and even though they are friends, there is a discrepancy between them. That being that Kang Hyo is above them all, followed by Suk-won, and at the bottom was Pai Han himself. However, they make a good trio when together, but the fact remains the same: Kang Hyo is above them. This puts some thoughts into Choi Suk-won's head, as he wonders if they're really friends or not. Back to the current time, we see Pai Han's minions coming over to stop him from beating up Kang Hyo even more, saying that he will be finishing him off for good if he continues at this rate. Pai Han stops and tells Kang Hyo that he must absolutely remember this beatdown and remember to never mess with him again. And Pai Han's minions tells the bystanders to take all the blame for this beatdown and tell all the people that they were the ones who beat down Kang Hyo. The bystanders aren't pleased to be all mixed up in this, but they scoot over to Kang Hyo, who falls there unconsciously, and show pity for him. Meanwhile, Kang Hyo sees weird dreams of a fight where a lot of people are going at it with each other. In that fight, Kang Hyo is going up against Pai Han, and there he tells Pai Han that he will finish him off for good. Just when Kang Hyo is about to finish him off though, Choi Suk-won intervenes and hits Kang Hyo hard. Suk-won then tells Kang Hyo that Pai Han won't be the one going down. Instead, Kang Hyo himself has to go down now. This suddenly wakes up Kang Hyo, and this also angers him a lot. Kang Hae-hyo then cusses out the dastardly Pai Han-ul as he was walking away and tells him to wait for him, as he gets back up with a look that means business on his face. Back to the school building, we see that Kang Hae-ri Choi Woo and Gyu Sang are looking for Kang Hyo, who they refer to as Top Knot. Gyu Sang says that he is out of breath and Hae Ri told him that he should stop smoking if he feels that bad after doing nothing, to which Gyu Sang agrees. Choi Woo, who refers to Hae Ri as Kang Hae Hyo now, asks her the reason why she is chasing after Top Knot. Kang Ri is a bit taken aback by this question, but she quickly gathers herself and asks Gyu Sang and Choi Woo about what they thought of her when they found out that she was a girl. They're all conflicted about this. One of them says that he finds her pretty, while the other points out how they managed to find out the magic of plastic surgery and make up thanks to Kang Hae Hyo's dynamic transformation, which annoys Kang Ri, but she asks them another question, that being that what they think will be the reaction if everyone found out that she was a girl, it would be bad. Because all the people she has ever beaten up will come chasing her for revenge, because they will feel bad about getting laid out by a girl. Choi Woo agrees with this and says that even he felt extra bad and pissed off when he realized that a girl was the one who beat him up. Kang Ri then tells them that this is the reason why they gotta go and find Kang Hyo before he goes on to tell everyone about this, because that will cause her trouble if her identity is leaked. Kang Ri also tells Choi Woo and Gyu Sang that they shouldn't be referring to her as Kang Hae Hyo, and instead, they should call her by her new name that is Kang Hae Ri for safety purposes. Choi Woo and Gyu Sang finds this ridiculous that she can't even use her name, but Choi Woo tells Kang Hae Ri that he will be the one taking care and handling 3 stars from now on, to which Kang Ri mocks him and tells him that someone like Choi Woo, who got called a loser and beaten by Top Knot, has no rights to be the one leading 3 stars. Choi Woo replies to this by saying that he was just taken in by surprise, and Kang Ri tells him that she finds it funny how he got taken in by surprise even though he had just saw Gyu Sang fight Top Knot moments before his own fight. Gyu Sang then asks Kang Ri if she is planning on making Top Knot the leader of the 3 stars, to which Kang Ri asks if she can't do that or what. Gyu Sang quickly lets her know that he opposes that decision and also tells when that the 3 stars is something that is only between them and something that is deeply precious and important to him. Choi Woo also joins in and agrees, and they both put forward the thought that they'd much rather have her, a girl, as the leader of the 3 stars over a fake guy who doesn't have anything to do with this. After all, male or female, she is still Kang Hae Hyo, and she can really beat up anyone on her path, so who really cares? Kang Ri doesn't quite know what to say about this, but she figures something out and decides to tell them about it. As she is about to tell the real reason why she doesn't want to out herself as Kang Hae Hyo, a purple-haired girl named Sang-ah interferes. The girl comes out and tells Kang Ri that she is impressed that she has 2 guys around her despite being a tomboy, which gets on Kang Ri's nerves. However, Choi Woo and Gyu Sang are pleased by seeing her, as she is very pretty. Sang-ah then introduces her boyfriend, Seo Jun, to Kang Ri. Seeing Seo Jun pisses Kang Ri off. Back to the fight, we see that Pai Han turns back around to see that it was Kang Hyo who had called him out, and he also sees that Kang Hyo is back up on his feet. Pai Han then says to Kang Hyo if he wants to lose his life because it's not going to go down well for him, and that he will beat him into oblivion now. Kang Hyo got his mojo back, so he also talks back with equal confidence and anger, replying that he will be the one doing the beating up from now onwards. This pisses off Pai Han, and we see that Kwang Soo and Dong Pal are worried about the stuff that Kang Hyo is spouting out. Dong Pal asks Kang Hyo if he is crazy, and that there is no way he will be able to take on Pai Han, and that if he wants to do so, he should do it by himself. Kwang Soo also tells Kang Hyo that he should do stuff on his own and not get them dragged into his mess. Kang Hyo replies to them by saying that he doesn't have time to mess with such sorry and vile people such as Kwang Soo and Dong Pal, so they should just get the heck out of his way. Kwang Soo and Dong Pal realize what Kang Hyo had just called them, and this pisses them off, so they decide to attack Kang Hyo simultaneously and guarantee it that he can't make it to Pai Han. As the duo are about to punch Kang Hyo, what strikes them is so quick that they can't even see it, but they sure as heck just felt it. They went down from being attacked by Kang Hyo, however, it was too quick for them to even see it. This shocks Pai Han and his men too, but Pai Han quickly recovers, tells his men to go and take out Kang Hyo. As his men go to take out Kang Hyo, Pai Han feels quite secured, knowing that this Kang Hae Hyo isn't the Kang Hae Hyo of the past, and that he has been severely nerfed after his accident, so he doesn't need to be afraid of him. However, what happens next is shocking, as the first guy that approached Kang Hyo gets a punch from the man that knocks him out. The second guy sees this, but he knows that Kang Hyo is in a vulnerable position from the follow-through of the punch. However, Kang Hyo leans into it and performs a front hand spring to hit a kick to the other lackey, taking him out for good. This leaves Pai Han flabbergasted, as he realizes that nothing has changed, and that Kang Hyo is just as scary as he always has been. Kang Hyo also realizes that Kang Hyo wasn't pretending to be weak because he got injured by his accident. It was because he really had amnesia. Just at that moment, Kang Hyo delivers a solid cross punch to Pai Han, which he manages to block, but the sheer impact of the punch is so much that Pai Han is sent flipping back. However, the punch didn't really break through Pai Han's block, so Pai Han feels comfortable because unlike last time, he can keep up with the tempo of Kang Hyo to actually block the punch, and also states that he isn't the same guy from before, and that he can hold his own against Kang Hyo. Kang Hyo scoffs at Pai Han's false sense of hope and tells him that he didn't even intend to hit him hard, and that he did what he did on purpose. Pai Han doesn't quite understand what Kang Hyo meant, but he then checks his surroundings to understand that Kang Hyo had purposefully punched him like that to push him against the wall, and realizes that now he has nowhere to go as the dangerous angel of death Kang Hyo approaches to hit him. Kang Hyo then spins around to hit Pai Han with a picture-perfect spinning back kick, which gets amplified even more by Pai Han's back being against the wall. Kang Hyo then lets Pai Han all know that the wall had hurt him more than Pai Han's weak punch ever. We then see that Kang Hyo is beating the heck out of Pai Han. He starts kicking Pai Han in the face just like Pi-han had kicked him in the face, and he keeps counting the blows while he is doing so. Pai Han can't really handle the beatdown anymore and decides that if he has to go down, he might as well go down swinging, and that's why Pai Han tries to break free from the wall and goes ahead in hopes of landing a takedown on Kang Hyo, from where he would be able to control the fight. However, Kang Hyo is an expert at combat, so he sees this coming and counters the takedown attempt from Pai Han by landing a vicious knee strike to the face, which knocks out the lights from Pai Han. Kang Hyo says that it is all good because he wanted to hit a knee strike to Pai Han to even them out. We then see that Pai Han's lackeys are back up from the beatdown, and they tell Kang Hyo that he has to pay for what he did to them and Pai Han. However, instead of taking Kang Hyo on, they run away, citing that they are going to find more people for reinforcements. This leaves Pai Han alone with the monster that is Kang Hyo, and he can't believe that his lackeys left him alone, high and dry with Kang Hyo. Kwang Soo and Dongpal are also shocked seeing this monstrous version of the Kang Hyo they used as a minion. Meanwhile, back at the school, we see that Gyu Sang and Choi Woo are shocked to know that Seo Jun, the top fighter from Gangnam, is standing in front of them. Seo Jun tells Kang Hae-ri that he would like to get along with her because he has heard stuff about her from his girlfriend Sang-ah. Sang-ah tells Seo Jun to drop the nice guy act and tells him to go along with the original mission, which was for him to beat him Sang-ah. Seo Jun tells Sang-ha that he doesn't feel right about hitting girls, so he doesn't want to do it, to which Sang-ah tells Seo Jun to find people who would come and beat her up from them. This angers Choi Woo and Gyu Sang, who call Sang-ah names despite her being pretty, and asks Seo Jun and Sang-ah if they know who they are talking about. This pisses off Seo Jun, who tells both Choi Woo and Gyu Sang that they made a mistake by calling his girlfriend names, and that he might as well beat them up instead of Kang Ri. Choi Woo and Gyu Sang are also fired up. However, Kang Ri intervenes and tells Choi Woo and Gyu Sang to back off, and she starts talking to Seo Jun herself. Kang Ri apologizes to Seo Jun and asks to be let off this time. Seo Jun makes fun of Choi Woo and Gyu Sang for hiding behind a girls, and Sang-ah tells Kang Ri that even though she got off easily this time, however, she will not be let off the next time. That's for sure. Sang-ah and Seo Jun then leave the scene, as we see Choi Woo and Gyu Sang walk up to Kang Ri and ask her if she chickened out or what, because they didn't expect her to apologize. Kang Ri admits that she had indeed chickened out. Kang Ri then goes on to tell about how before their graduation in middle school, she had thought of revealing her gender to them. However, while she intended to do so, she received a parcel from someone, and upon opening it, she found a shirt with a lion mark and a message that read that some competition was being hosted to determine the best and strongest fighters amongst middle school students, and that she was invited to go there while wearing that shirt. Upon going there, she ran into Seo Jun, who was wearing that shirt with a lion mark as well, and the two of them got into a fight. She fought her best fight, but it was for a fact that Seo Jun was the stronger person there. This shocks Choi Woo and Gyu Sang as they say that they weren't aware of her losing to Seo Jun already, to which Kang Ri says that it wasn't a loss on technicality, as she did manage to snatch away Seo Jun's badge and run away. However, Seo Jun landed a few more blows than she landed on him, so she considers that a moral defeat, and that defeat had showed her the limitations she has. After that, she decided to quit doing these things and live her life as an ordinary high school girl from then onwards. This new piece of information shocks both Choi Woo and Gyu Sang, as they would have never guessed that something like that went down with Kong Ri. However, Gyu Sang wonders just what the whole tiger logo thing is all about. Back to the outside, where we see the relentless beatdown of Pai Han from the hands of Kang Hyo continuing from before. As Pai Han takes the beating hopelessly, we see a blonde-haired guy come into the scene and ask them just what kind of thing they are doing. Pai Han quickly recognizes him as the contract fighter named Jung Suri and offers him a deal. Pai Han tells Suri that he will give him whatever amount he asks for if he fights from his side and beats up Kang Hyo. Kang Hae Hyo also listens to this and asks Jung Suri if he is another one of Pai Han's lackeys. We then see that Jung Suri has a lion mark on his jacket, just like how Kang Hae Ri had described to her friends. The story then cuts back to the inside of the school, where we see that Gyu Sang is wondering just why would someone run a battle royale with real people to check their strength. What could be the reason behind running it? Choi Woo also asks the question that if such a battle royale was happening in the city, why wasn't he invited? Gyu Sang gets annoyed by this question and tells Choi Woo to not joke at all times. It is then that Seo Jun returns from before to confront Choi Woo and Gyu Sang. Seo Jun asks the duo if they were the members of the 3 stars that was once very popular in northern Seoul. This question puts Choi Woo, Gyu Sang, and Kang Ri under a lot of pressure. Meanwhile, outside of the school, we see that Kang Hyo has finally seen the logo on Jung Suri's jacket, and it reminds him of something of the past. Kang Hyo remembers how one day, Choi Suk-hwan was telling him about how he had opened a group chat on Naver called Cage of Predators, and how it had already amassed a solid 2,200 members by that point. Choi Suk-hwan went on about how the group is cool, but everyone in the group pretends as if they were the strongest and most skilled fighters in the world, and jokes about how if that were to be true, then their country would be dominating the UFC and other combat sports promotions. Kang Hyo then suggested to Suk-hwan that he should just open an invitational battle royale-esque tournament to actually make the people fight, and to see if they're really as good as they say they are. Kang Hyo suggests inviting people from northern, southern, eastern, and western parts of Seoul and telling them to go at it physically, and later expand it more, and invite people from outside of Seoul. This idea really interests Choi Suk-hwan, who says that he wants to do it, and that he will give the winner some clothes with the chat group's logo imprinted on it as the prize. Back to the present time, all of this came back to Kang Hyo, and he can't believe that Suk-hwan actually went ahead with it and pulled it off for that fact. Then we see Jung Suri getting near Kang Hyo and asking him if Kang Hyo really thinks that Suri is a lackey of Pai Han's, to which Kang Hyo replies by saying that from the way he is dressed, he can tell that Suri is not a lackey. Pai Han then tells Suri to attack Kang Hae Hyo, and says that he will give him any amount of money for doing so. This worries Kang Hyo a bit, because he is exhausted already and doesn't want an extra person to fight. Jung Suri asks if he can really name any amount and if that will be paid. Suri then tells Pai Han that he is willing to fight for him if he offers him 1 million bucks. This bamboozles Pai Han, as he tells Jung Suri that it is a ridiculous amount and tells him to be serious about it. Suri says that he should probably retire the contract worker moniker and says that he has stuff to attend to, so he can't fight for Pai Han. Pai Han asks him just what is the important thing that he has to attend to, and Suri replies to this by saying that he has to buy pizza for his little sister before walking away from the scene. Pai Han is left helpless, as he can't quite understand what to do anymore, now that he has no one to get help from. Kang Hyo also takes advantage of this and goes to attack Pai Han again, telling him that he has always dished out double the punishment as revenge. We then see that later that night, Kang Hyo is sitting on his bed wondering why he is feeling so empty. Kang Hyo says that beating up Pai Han was supposed to feel good, so why is it hurting him so much? We then see that earlier on, Kang Hae Hyo beat down Pai Han to a pulp, and to the point that he was basically a sitting duck waiting to be hunted. Kang Hyo then told Pai Han that he can apologize, and then Kang Hyo will stop the beatdown because after all, they were once friends and Kang Hyo will respect that. Pai Han, despite being beaten up, is still defiant. He yells out that he will never apologize to Kang Hyo, and tells him that he might have thought of Pai Han as a friend, but Pai Han didn't reciprocate that feeling, because to him, Kang Hyo was a monster. Pai Han told him that Suk-hwan turned on Kang Hyo, not because Pai Han got in his ears, but because he was tired of Kang Hyo's antics. He says that Kang Hyo must now know that being a lackey feels very bad, because of how he spent his days after amnesia. However, Kang Hyo isn't much different himself. He is just as much of a tyrant as the ones who bullied him. And this is why Kang Hyo is very sad. He understands that there might be truth to what Pai Han said, and wonders if he really was as bad as the people who bullied him, and wonders if that's why things went sour with Choi Soo-kwon. It is then that Choi Woo suddenly enters Kang Hyo's room and starts behaving with him all politely. Kang Hyo is a bit taken aback by this behavior and says that if he wants to fight, then he will suffer a lot. But Choi Woo clarifies that he doesn't want to fight. He came here to tell Kang Hyo that someone was calling him to the rooftop. Kang Hyo got curious and went with Choi Woo. Kang Hyo was kinda annoyed though, so he was asking if it was the weird girl who was calling him out. However, upon arriving to the rooftop, Choi Woo told Seo Jun that he is the one, and Seo Jun welcomed Kang Hyo and asked him if he really thought that Seo Jun won't be able to track him down. Seo Jun makes fun of Kang Hyo, saying that he would have never thought that the leader of the 3 stars would do plastic surgery to change his face. Kang Hyo is confused, as he doesn't understand what he means by plastic surgery, and further on, he is just confused as to what is happening. Kang Ri speaks up and tells Kang Hyo that they had already told Seo Jun about everything, so he can just drop the act now. Kang Hyo notices that Kang Ri is here too, and he wonders just what these guys are doing with him. Kang Ri then tries to do a sexy pose to seduce Kang Hyo into beating up Seo Jun because he was bullying them, but the skill she learned from the internet failed badly. Kang Hyo asks her why he would do that for them, to which Kang Ri says that it's because she is his girlfriend. This shocks Kang Hyo, as he asks her when did they even start dating, but Kang Ri interrupts him and whispers to him about how Seo Jun bluffed his way in to becoming the #1 in Southern Seoul, and that if Kang Hyo beats him up, then he will get a huge status upgrade. Hearing this, Kang Hyo gets excited as he wonders just what this upgrade is about. Kang Hae-ri further goes on to say that if Kang Hyo beats up Seo Jun, then he will be crowned as the new king, the new #1 of Southern Seoul. So that's why he should go ahead and he should do it. Kang Hyo is all excited about this opportunity and he says that he will do as Kang Hae-ri says. This makes Kang Ri happy, but Kang Hyo was just acting, and he tells them that he isn't going to do anything for them because he already has a lot of stuff on his table and he can't afford to add even more to that. Just at that moment, Seo Jun starts laughing out loud. Everyone wonders why Seo Jun is laughing so loudly, and Seo Jun replies by asking if they want to take him out by making him laugh. After a while, Seo Jun calms down his laughter, and as he does so, Seo Jun says that it is a real shame with how things are. Seo Jun then further adds into it by saying that he would have never thought that the infamous leader of the 3 stars group, the #1 in Northern Seoul, Kang Hae-hyo, was just a cute little girl. This shocks everyone as they understand that Seo Jun has figured it out, that Kang Hae-ri is the real leader of the 3 stars group.